All right. Sorry, the electricity went off and cut my recording off right in the middle of the lesson. So I am continuing lesson 25-4. I was right in the middle of doing part D. Here's the formula. The angle is equal to half the big arc minus the little arc. They gave us a whole bunch of measurements in terms of y. So the measure of angle X right here is 4y. The measure of angle B is 20y minus 12. And then we had to calculate the measure of arc A. And mark arc A, whatever arc B is, arc A is going to be 360 minus arc B. So arc B right here is 20 minus 12y. So I have over here my angle, which is 4y, is equal to 1/2. This is the big arc. Now, notice that I distributed the negative. Okay, so I wrote down 360 minus 20y plus 12. Minus, that's the big arc, minus this is the little arc. And I will have to distribute this negative as well. So now, as I try to clean up my equation a little bit, I've got 360, that is just an integer, plus 12, so that's 372. And, well, let me write it down. I'm going to put them all together. 360 plus 12, there's that one right there. I've got minus 20y. I just rearranged those two so I could have like terms together. Now I'm going to have minus another 20y. This minus times that one. And this minus times that, I'm going to have another plus 12. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this 1/2. Multiply both sides by 2. So that'll give me 8y is equal to 360 plus 12 again. See this one? I moved it over here. And then minus 40. I put the two minus 20s together. Y. So I'm going to go ahead and add 40y to both sides. Add 40y. So that gives me 48y is equal to 360 plus 24. So I believe that's 384. Divide both sides by 48. Divide both sides by 48. And y is, I'm going to do 384 divided by 48. And I get y is equal to 8. So we solved for y. Okay. Not going to do that part. Not going to do that part. Let's go ahead and work this part. Inscribed angles are formed when RT is drawn. Yep, we've got angle 4 right here is inscribed. And the arc that goes along with angle 4 is this one right here. So the measure of angle 4 is going to equal 1/2 B plus D. Not because I'm supposed to add arcs together, but that's the intercepted arc for this angle right here. So here's this side comes down and intersects the circle right here, and this side intercepts the circle right here, so all the stuff in the middle. So if we want to find the measure of angle 4, we have to do 1/2 B plus D. So that's the measure of angle 4 right there. And then the measure of angle 3, I'm going to open this so I can change colors. Can't change colors as long as I'm in Adobe. I mean, I can, but it's too hard. Sorry. Everything's running really slow since the electricity went off. I need to restart everything. Okay, so now I'm going to, let's pick blue. Okay, so now the measure of angle 3, here's the leg, angle 3 right here. It intercepts the circle right there. Here's the other leg for angle 3. It intercepts the circle right there. So the intercepted arc for angle 3 is this piece. See, here's the other leg. So we've got this leg and we've got this leg. And then this is the piece of the circle that's between the two sides. So those are labeled B plus C. So the measure of angle 3 is going to be half, because it's inscribed B plus C. Okay, let's go back here. Let's do 8, just because it's good practice. Let X represent the measure of angle A. Angle A right here is X. And then for 3, we said 3, remember, was the measure of angle 3 was B plus C. And then the measure of angle 4 was B plus D. And we probably can't find this because we didn't do some other piece. So anyway, I'm going to skip that. And let's go to this one. Now remember, they have this one worked out for you. I'm going to work it out because I may work it a different way than they did. So you can follow mine, and then you can go back and follow theirs and see if it's the same or see if it's different. But they give us the measure of the angle. They give us the measure of this arc is 140. And they tell us that they are tangent, so that means that we can draw that piece there, but we don't have to. They want the measure of arc PRQ. So they just want this arc. Well, that arc is super easy to find because all we have to do is subtract this one right here. Is that all they want? What is the measure of angle PRQ? Well, that's too easy. 360 minus 140. PQ is 140, yeah. So 0 to 20. So the measure of arc PRQ is 220. Is that what they got? Yeah, they got 220. I don't know why they did it that way. Okay, so I'll try these A with you. Come on, I don't want those notifications. So if find X, that's what we got to do. So A is 125 and B is 35. So for A right here, it's the angle, which is X, is equal to 1/2. The big arc, A is the big arc, 125 minus 35. And I believe if you subtract those two, I think you get 90. And then half of 90 is 45. All right, for part B, find A. If, and I'm going to write this, the angle is equal to half the big arc minus little arc. So that's the main formula that we're using right up there. So they give us the angle measure. So the angle measure is 35. That's equal to 1/2. The big arc, A is the big arc, minus the little arc, which is 40. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the 1/2. I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. So 35 times 2, I believe, is 70. And that's A minus 40. So add 40 to both sides. And that means A has to be 110. All right, they want me to find X, and they give me A, C, and D. So they give me A, C, and D. So it looks like that A plus B plus C plus D, all of those are going to equal 360. So if they give me A is 160, and they give me C is 80, and they give me D is 70, then I can calculate what B has to be by taking 360 and subtracting each one of these numbers right here. Okay, so 360 minus 160, that's 200, minus 150, I believe that leaves us B is equal to 50. Okay, I just did some mental math right there. So B is 50 and A is 160. So for part C, the angle, which is X, is equal to 1/2 the big arc, which is 160 in this case, minus the little arc, which is 50. 160 minus 50 is going to leave me with taking half of 110, and I believe half of 110 is 55. So the measure of that angle is 55 degrees. Write an equation and solve for t. Okay, so the angle X is 4t minus 1, and that's equal to 1/2 the big arc, and in this case A is the big arc, 10t, minus the little arc. This is where everybody's going to make a mistake. Or I should say, if you make a mistake, it's probably going to be right here. When we minus the little arc, you have to distribute that negative. So this becomes 10t minus 3t plus 10. So 4t minus 1 equals 1/2 times 10t minus 3t plus 10. This is where people are going to mess up. Let me bring this over here. So I have 4t minus 1 is equal to 1/2. Now I'm going to put 10t minus 3t together and get 7t plus 10. I'm going to get rid of the 1/2 by multiplying both sides by 2. Be careful and don't forget to distribute the 2. That cancels out. And I'm going to finish solving this Algebra 1 problem. And I get t is equal to 12. Okay, so those were some good problems. That leaves you with check your understanding and the lesson practice. And that finishes off this unit. So I am going to do the last video that contains the answers to the check your understanding and the 25-4 practice.